Oh, gosh. That is so sideways. Okay. I'm going to wait for everybody to jump on. And we going to get into this. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I made this live. Happy, what is, today's Friday, Pay It Forward Friday. Did I make this public? Hey, Ashanti. Hey, Apple. I'm kind of slanted because I had to tilt the camera. So if I look sideways, it's not me. Oh, thank you. Hey, Jasmine. How are you, my love? How y'all doing? How is this energy treating y'all? How is, hey, Ashley? Ashley, I just sent you an email. I'm gonna see you on the 28th. Hey, Ronnie, how are you? How are you, my love? We talking about emotions today. Okay, we're in interesting times, y'all. Okay, interesting times. How is the energy treating everybody? I hope everybody is doing well. We're going to talk about emotions today, in which you guys, your sleep is jacked up. Ashley saying her sleep is jacked up. I don't know. Ashley, I've been wanting to sleep. Um, I am going through major transformation, and I am going to talk about everything that's unfolding on the other side. Okay. Um, like a roller coaster, Ashanti. Okay. Chris is saying feeling drained. Okay. All right. All right. So let's just get into what you guys might need to pay attention to. All right. The code word that you're going to have to pay attention to as we're going through this wave of energy is emotions and your mental wellness. Okay. Hey, Jay, how are you, my love? Oh, really, Jasmine? Okay, we don't have to talk about this. Yeah, we don't have to talk about that behind the scenes, Jasmine. Okay, I don't know about everybody's. Hey, Lori, how are you? Ronnie said she hard to get to sleep for the past couple nights. Okay, we're about to leave Scorpio's energy and go into Sagittarius's energy, which means that perception, okay, is going to be important. Okay. Um, but I want to tell y'all how you're supposed to be moving through this perception. All right. And maybe I might break it down on all levels or maybe all the four elements. Okay. Um, so what I've been experiencing in my sessions this week is a lot of energy around emotion and mental wellness. Okay. As a matter of fact, somebody that I love dearly, literally had a mental attack this week, where, they lost, track of reality, like literally lost track of reality. I had a couple of sleepless nights because it was talking them back into what would appear to be our reality, right? And I must say, hey, Ocean Lover, I must say, it's not like the reality that they were in was a healthy one. It was a very negative reality that they were replaying in a mental loop in their head, right? Now, a lot of this or is coming from them not being able to accept who they truly are, as well as them not forgiving themselves maybe for some things that they've done along the way. Okay, so we need to talk about that. We need to talk about that as we're moving through this energy. That's going to be important. Okay. First, let me say this right now. One of the things I've constantly talked about on this channel is whoever controls you emotionally controls what you do, what you think, how you feel, how you move, what you buy. Okay, we've talked about that from since I've started the channel. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I've been struggling with, real talk, right, is my growth, my evolution, and even the tarot. Like, is this something that I want to continue doing? Right? Is this really helping people? Is this really affecting real change in people's lives? You understand what I'm saying? Like, is this, because there are wonderful readers on YouTube that tap in and give you on point information, right? Very, 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 very good. Very, very well tapped in. However, I know my style of how I read tarot is different. It's more of a teaching style, right? My goal when I started the channel was, um, thank you, Apple. Thank you, Ocean Lover. I appreciate that. My goal when I started the channel was exactly that, Ocean Lover. I wanted to help people. It was not about the number of subscribers. It was more about helping people, right? And I've been questioning whether or not doing readings, doing the videos and the monthlies. So I went from doing weekly readings to bi-weekly readings. Now I'm doing monthly readings, and that's all in the space of just questioning where I'm going spiritually and how I'm helping the community spiritually, right? Um, so what I looked at within the sessions that I've had this week, and I had maybe about 5 or 6 sessions this week, right? What I looked at behind the scenes this week was everyone not necessarily knowing how to deal with things emotionally right now in the time that we're in, right? Because there's a lot of uncertainty right now. There's a lot of uncertainty as to whether or not, certain, like I think my girlfriend was just telling me a couple of days ago, they shut schools down in New York, right? In Atlanta, they have not reopened schools from since the kids have been doing remote learning. So, people are dealing with issues of school, work, not being able to travel and see family for the holidays. There's so many things going on top of finances, and paying the bills, whether or not you do Christmas. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, okay? I'm gonna tell y'all right now, okay? When I started growing and really understanding how I wanted to restructure my life, one of the things that I did when my kids were really young was I kind of broke that whole illusion of Santa Claus, right? So my kids, at a young age, I told them there is no such thing as Santa Claus, right? And if you want to refer to a Santa Claus, anybody that buys you a gift, like that would be Santa Claus, okay? I even got as far as if it was something on the expensive end that they wanted, okay, a game system or something like that. And I'm not really, like right now, I'm gonna tell y'all, my 13-year-old, like he is a CEO of some future company, because that is the master negotiator. You hear me? Okay. He starts planning and contacting and collecting. So when's birthday or Christmas roll around, he legitly straight. Okay. However, especially with my youngest one, putting him in a mind frame that this whole system is set up so you can spend a lot of money coming up to the holidays. So I'm not saying you can't have your game system, but what we're finna do is we're going to wait until January 3rd when that game system drops $100, because it's now, not everybody's rushing and they have more in the stores, and I will get that for you. I don't feel like I have to pay inflation just for a video game system, which is really, to me, I don't really give a shit about your video game system. Okay, so breaking illusions was important for my reality. Okay, and I'm back at the same place right now again. I'm back at the same place where I'm having to create a new reality, because the world that we now live in is never going to be the same. It's not the same, and we need to accept that. Okay, we need to accept that the world that we currently live in is not going to be the same. All right, I'm not going to get into a lot of the political aspect of or the political temperature right now. I got to be really honest with y'all. Just intuitively, what's been coming in as far as that climate is concerned, we are now in that second wave that I talked about. Okay, so if you've been following my channel, I want to say even for the past 4 months, okay, especially from since March, right? We've talked about the time that we're in right now. We talked about this from since March. Okay, we talked about the second wave coming, and I even went as far as to tell you guys when it was going to come in. We talked about the wave creeping in September, definitely getting cranked in October, November, December, January. Okay, now what intuitively spirit has been saying is those dates that I gave out, the January dates, right? There is going to be a break in energy as far as empowerment is concerned. Not necessarily a break from all of this chaos in the collective. Okay, and so what I've been just picking up intuitively, if this second wave is not extended, it may fizzle out. Hey, light within darkness. If this second wave is not extended, it may fizzle out and then get cranked again, right? So we're still back to the basics of what we were talking about at the beginning of the year, right? Which is making sure that you're keeping your immune system, okay, on point. Now, the next caveat to that, right? The next caveat to that is making sure that you're keeping your emotional and your mental system on point. Okay, so let's get into that, right? um I've had an experience, I want to say within the past 24 hours, where I've literally had to tell myself how to feel about a situation. And I want to say within this past month, from since my dad transitioned, I've had to tell myself how to feel about certain people. Right now, why is that important? That is important because your perception, your mental perception, needs to be on point in the season, and you need to A, see people for who they really are, and B, create the perception in which you want things to unfold. Okay, so within the past 24 hours, I've had a situation where I literally needed to manifest. I needed to manifest a bill being paid immediately. Manifested, okay? Like it literally, legitly creeped up on me, and I needed to manifest it. And as a matter of fact, I talked to someone prior the night before and told me, don't worry about it. It's gonna be taken care of. I got it, okay? So when I got up in the morning and I got the notification that it wasn't taken care of, and this is something that's needed for my business, and it wasn't taken care of, I immediately, right, because immediately what happens is you go into fight or flight mode, right? That anxiousness creeps in, like, so all of the spiritual stuff. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something, right? Because there's levels to this shit, especially as you expand and you ascend to different realms of thinking and being, right? There's levels. So at this point, immediately I get into anxiousness, okay? And Spirit said to me, okay, I mean, you can go there if you want to, or you can go out and do your normal morning routine, which is simple. I get out in the morning around 8:30, probably around 8:30ish, right before the sun gets too hot, and I do my sun bath and my sun meditation, and I simply ask the universe, okay, what are we doing today? Okay. That is important to me now. It is very important to me now because of the climate that we're in, right? So maybe something you planned to do a week ago, right? That may not be necessarily what you need to do today, right? So instead of sitting in that anxiety, I got up, I came out, I did my meditation, okay? And Spirit simply said, okay, well, what's your truth? And my truth was, all my needs are met. I don't have to worry about this, and this is going to be taken care of by the end of the day, right? I had an opportunity at that point also to see the person as, okay, well, you're not a person of your word, right? And you said you was going to do this, right? I had that option too, right? However, I am now in the position, because we've been talking about creating within darkness, right? When you create within darkness, you got to speak things as if as this is it. You got to speak things into existence. You got to give life to things with your words. We talk about your spelling, right? Your spells. Your words are your spells. Your words are how you're creating. Okay, so I had an opportunity to either cast or curse, right? Cast a curse, right? Or cast abundance. And immediately I opted to see that person the way I wanted things to unfold. And let me just tell y'all, within an hour, or within the hour, right? That situation was handled and taken care of. And in actuality, it saved me money. Okay? It saved me money. Okay? It actually saved me money. I did not have to come out of my pocket an extra $100. Okay? So Spirit and the universe genuinely took care of that. So what I'm saying to you guys right now, your emotions right now and your perceptions of how you're seeing things in this climate is going to govern the experiences, okay? It's going to govern your experiences, okay? Yes. Light within darkness, that's exactly. You have to walk as if it's already completed, right? Now we're going to talk about relationships and why it's important for you to be able to man your emotions and your mental capacity, right? Because we got, hey Jaleesa, how are you, sweetie? We're going to talk about relationships, right? Relationships are also going to be very important this season. All right. Who are you creating an intimate relationship and who are you building a community with? Okay. And I got to say this, okay. Just telling you guys right now, we're also going to go back into a time where you're going to find smaller communities, okay. All of this mega this meganess, meganess, I don't even have meganess is a word, but but all of like a lot of what we would consider to be like social dominance over a particular area. What you guys are going to start to see is that you're going to start to see people creating smaller communities, okay, which is going to be necessary, like-minded people coming together right now. When you're managing your emotions and your mental capacity right now, you need to be mindful of who's in your circle. Who are you sharing things with, right? A lot of times you want to share your dreams, you want to share your thoughts, you even want to share your fears with people, right? And you got to be mindful of who you're sharing those things with in this season, because people can in this season also keep you in a negative emotional and mental loop, okay? That's going to be important. All right. So just watch who you're sharing your fears and your dreams with in this season. Watch even who is sharing their fears and their dreams with you in this season. Okay. Especially the empaths that are super sensitive. You want to watch that. You want to watch who you are inviting into your personal space this season. Watch that. That's going to be important. Okay. Um, because what you invite. Hey, Shakia, how are you, my love? You are welcome, sweetie. You're welcome. But you, because you want you. Okay, so let me just go back to basics. Let's go back to basics here. Okay, when you're thinking of things from an allegory of how the universe works, right? It works the same within you. Okay. You need to understand, like I said, your words are spells. Okay. You can also look at them or think of them as seeds, right? And your mind is the field. Okay. Your mind is the open field. Your mind is a fertile ground, or not the fertile ground, right? In which these seeds are planted. Now, you also have to be mindful for spiritual warfare in this season. I'm gonna break spiritual warfare down. Hi, only. I'm gonna break spiritual warfare down, and then we're gonna go into how spiritual warfare is going to attack you based on the element in which you live in, or based on the makeup of your chart. Okay, now when you have a field, right, aka your mind, because everything is mental. When you have a field, a mind, your mind is vast, right? And you have seeds, aka other people's words, other people's conversations, okay, other people's problems, right? And if you get on the phone an hour before you go to bed, and you on the phone with that girlfriend or that family member where all they have to say is negative stuff, and they're dumping shit on you, and y'all have been talking about the same thing for the past year and a half, and they have not taken any steps towards changing anything, right? Guess what? They're planting seeds in your head. Okay? They're planting seeds in your head. You need to understand that. This is not the season for you to continuously encourage or to continuously allow yourself to be bombarded by other people's issues or problems, okay, or scenarios or situations that they themselves have no desire, okay, or they just want to be the victim. This is not the season for that. This is not the season for that. This is the season for you to take responsibility of your own emotions. Okay, so let's get into spiritual warfare, all right? Because spiritual warfare is going to come through your emotions and your mental capacities in this season. I'm telling y'all right now. Okay, this is how it's going to play out. All right. Let's start off with water signs, because I think we're just wrapping up Scorpio season. Okay. Water elements is going to consist of Pisces, it's going to consist of Scorpio, and it's going to consist of Cancer energy. Depending on how much of this energy you have in your chart, right, you can find that your spiritual attacks is going to come in with your emotions, which means you can find yourself feeling overwhelmed. You can find yourself always feeling depressed. You can find yourself feeling anxious. Now, if you are a super sensitive empath, a lot of this shit that you're feeling may not even be your own stuff. So you need to be mindful of that. This is why you're going to have to guard your energy. Okay, this is why you don't want to have a conversation an hour before you go to bed about somebody else's bullshit that they not planning on changing. Okay? This is why you need to do that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be supportive. I'm not saying that you shouldn't listen, but you should not be listening an hour before you close your eyes. Do you know? Okay, let's say it's an emergency. Even if it's an emergency and you do need to listen, you need to detox after that conversation. Okay, you do not need to go to bed with anything mentally or emotionally heavy in this season. What you need to go to bed with is your emotions, what you need to either loving emotions or what you need to unpack. Okay. Ah, thank you. Oh, see, okay, look at that. Clea says self-care rules. Look at that. Okay, so this message falls right in line. Okay, it is definitely about self-care. Understand that it is not, if people are not trying to figure themselves out in this season, if they're not trying to deal with their own issues in this season, if they're still with the woe is me in this season, I'm telling you right now, I want to, if they have not figured out in this season, it is time for you to depend on yourself. They're gonna have a problem. They're going to have a problem. You can't even listen. Man your emotions. Okay, your emotions in this season can literally save your life. So if you are a water sign, and depending on how much water energy you have in your chart, you can see your spiritual attack coming through your emotions. And whoever controls you emotionally controls you as an emotional puppet. Okay, what you do, what you think, where you go, where you don't go, how good you feel today, if you're going to be depressed today, what you know, you understand what I'm saying? Please, it's important to know that. All right, air signs. All right, we're talking about Gemini's energy, Aquarius energy, and Libra's energy. All right, now let me just reverse for a second. Let's just go. Let's just reverse for a second, and let me just reverse for a second and talk about the breakdown within the spiritual attack within the elements. Okay, now when we're dealing with Scorpios, okay, because Scorpios are known as the deep, the element of the deep. We go to the depths of things, okay, and we are the sign that can manifest through desires, right? Because we tend to get to the depths of things, right? If you are a Scorpio element or you have a lot of Scorpio energy in your chart, right? Your attack is going to come through your emotions, and it's going to be attacking your transformation. All right. What you're going to find happening is through your emotions. If you are not careful, my wonderful Scorpios, is you can literally talk yourself out of some shit. Okay? You can literally talk yourself out of some shit because you think you don't have everybody figured out, and because you don't think you have everything situation figured out, or you don't think you don't perceive something that's not there. You don't went to the depths of something that's not even your shit. Okay? So be mindful in this season, Scorpios, that you don't get lost and caught up in your emotions where you're not seeing and perceiving things correctly. Okay? Be mindful of who you're stinging with your tongue. Be mindful of who you're stinging with your words. Be mindful of who you're rejecting in this season. Okay? Be mindful not to throw out the baby with the bathwater. Okay? Now, when it comes to cancers in this season, right? Because you guys rule the realm of feeling, this is your mastery. This is your mastery. But if you don't check yourself emotionally, if you shut down in this season and you don't communicate your emotions, what you will find is people are not going to be able to meet you where you are. Okay? This is not the season for cancers to shut down and not express themselves. Okay? People is not going to be able to meet you where you are. Okay? Oh, wow. The 22nd. See? That's a master number 2, Angela. Okay? It's going to be important for you to know that. Know, recognize, and understand that. Okay? Emotionally, cancers, this is not the time to shut down, nor is this the time to project. Deal with why you feel the way you feel. Deal with your rejection. Deal with your anger, right? And for some of you, deal with the fact that you think everybody should get how you feel, because everybody doesn't. Everybody doesn't get how you feel unless you verbalize it. Everybody doesn't get how you feel unless you express it. So shutting down and going into your shell in this season is not going to get you what you want, honey. Okay? You're going to have to speak up, cancers, all right? Not the season to shut down. Now, one of the things that I do have to say within this element, you have to be mindful also. Oh my goodness. Mystical mind. Oh my gosh. Beautiful you. How are you, Kimberly? How are you? Everybody give a shout out to Kimberly. And send Kimberly a lot of love and energy. Kimberly, I finally figured out that I got a new phone and my instant message wasn't on. Okay, I would love to speak to you behind the scenes. Okay, so if you can just let me know what your Sunday's like, we can chat it up for a few on Sunday. Okay. Okay. So back to cancers. Not the season to get in your shell and not be expressive. People, they're not going to be able to get you if you are not expressing yourself. That's going to be important, okay? Pisces, all right? Now, the element of Pisces is important, okay? Even where Pisces sits as far as the planetary realm is important, okay? Pisces rule illusions, right? Now, Pisces is also the sign where you guys, you're like the zodiac sponge, okay? Very, very intuitive, and you can also take on the energetic pattern of anybody walking into a room, okay? Pisces is also known within that energy for you to be able to gain understanding. Okay, so if you're under spiritual attack, what you can what you can find happening within that Piscean energy is you feel confused. You don't get shit. You're not understanding. There's a whole bunch of confusion around you. You don't know how to move. Right now, within that being said, your remedy for that is to step back and understand that you do not know everything. Okay, that's gonna be important. You do not know everything. Now, I want to say spiritually, as we're moving through this energy, you discernment is going to be key. Discernment is going to be key, and discernment is different for everybody. And I did get approval from Kelly to tell the story. All right, y'all know how I've been telling you guys it's important for you to be able to check your intuition. And if your spirit say don't go, don't go. If your spirit say go, go. Okay, y'all know how we've been talking about that. I want to say 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, I got a text message from Kelly. I think it was a phone call. First she called me, but I couldn't take the call because I was on with a client. Then a text message came through that she was just shaking up, that there was a lady that got shot in the face, right in front of the nail salon. She was going to go get a manicure and go to the beauty supply store, and all of this happened right on the strip, on the block that she was going to go walk down. She said the interesting thing is that she wasn't feeling well. She said all of a sudden she just wasn't feeling well, so she sat down and started to talk to Gas, which is her dog. So she sat down, she started to talk to Gas, and she got up again, okay, and still wasn't feeling well, and she sat down. Then all of a sudden her Citizens app started going off. Okay, now she said within that time frame, she felt like forcing herself to go, but there was something that told her, no, just sit, you're not feeling well, just sit. If she did not pay attention to her intuition, if she had pushed past that nudge that was telling her to sit her ass down, she could have been walking within that energy at the same time all of that was unfolding. So she was pretty shaken up that day to see that close to her by her listening to her intuition literally saved her life. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about when we're in this season. On the outside, things may look chaotic. On the outside, things may look confusing. But if you're checking in emotionally, if you're checking in mentally, if you're looking at things from a different perception in this season, you have a way out. You have a way out. If you're looking at things from a perception of you're realizing and understanding that the characters and the people involved and the roles that they play, and you see it legitimately for who they are, you can navigate through any situation. It's going to be important for you to balance your emotions. It's going to be important for you to have a different perception. Your mental game is going to have to be tight in this season. Okay, and one of the things is I don't never try to bring out things like as a self alchemist. I don't have to walk through myself. Anything that we talk about, I have to walk through these things myself. Okay, anything. It's kind of like okay, it's kind of like cooking, right? I gotta taste the pot. I gotta taste the pot, right? I gotta make sure that my seasoning is right, right? So as a chef, I love to cook. I love to, create food and serve people food. I love to cook, but I gotta taste the pot. I gotta taste the pot and see if it's seasoned, right? That's the way it is in this season. right? You have to be able to identify what's important to you emotionally, which means, okay, am I going to sit and entertain this conversation and then have to replay this shit in my mind before I go to bed? All of this detox heavy situation, or no, I can return that phone call tomorrow. You have to be able to dictate how you move in the season, right? You have to dictate to yourself, like, okay, you place the phone call to a business and you don't get the information of the right person on the phone. You need to hang up that phone and then dictate, okay, get in your place of wholeness and call back, and then say, even if you have to speak that out loud, I'm gonna get the right person the next time I call back. Do you know how much times I've had to use that magic? Do you know how much time just knowing that you're going to get the outcome that you desire going in? Do you know how powerful that is? Do you know that when you set your intention for an outcome, do you know that that's a frequency that goes out, and that frequency has to be magnetized back to you? You are a living, breathing magnet. Do you know that you're a ball of walking energy, right? Anybody in this season that's not attempting to work on themselves, anybody in this season that's not attempting to stand in their truth in this season, you are going to get caught up in this wave. And your truth is not necessarily going to look like everybody else's truth. It's not. Okay? If you want in your Jesus movement, that's cool. If you're in your Buddha movement, no judgment. If you on your Allah movement, no judgment. No judgment. The one thing that you need to know is who you truly are, right? Who you truly are. Who are you in Jesus? Who are you in Buddha? Right? Who are you? Who are you? No, the rule is know thyself, right? Know thyself. Even when you look at Jesus and Buddha, all of them was telling you about all the powers that you had. You have the power literally to take dominion and name things, right? Literally. We are this. When we talked about the zero reset at the beginning of the year, y'all, right? And literally, we've been going through the zero reset. Literally. Thank you, Julissa, my love. I appreciate you. Literally, we've been going through the zero reset. Literally. Okay. This is not a time for you to get caught up in your mistakes. It's not. This is not a time for you to get caught up in your mistakes. I'm explaining levels to y'all right now. Okay. I'm explaining levels. And me and Kelly had this conversations right now, why you want to watch judgment in this season, and why you want to discern things in this season, why you want to check your emotions and your mental game, right? Y'all know video games. I'm sure most of you got kids. If not, y'all know the video game phase, right? Now, in video games, there's a level, right? I remember when what is it? The nano. Y'all know, like the little nano, when iPad pods first came out, you downloaded your music. But in the little nano, they had a game called Vortex. And within Vortex, y'all, you were able to, it was a ball, and you had to break through these balls to get to the core, something like that, right? Now, every level got a little bit more difficult, okay? Every level was a little bit more challenging. The way it works in this realm, this is why you don't want to judge anybody. This is why you don't want to necessarily get caught up in labeling someone good, bad. This is why you don't want to get caught up in being angry at people, right? What you need to do is identify what you need to learn the situation, what you need to do, identify the role that this person plays in your life, and then you move accordingly. That's what you need to do. Whatever it is you give attention to is what's manifested in your experience, okay? So if you're giving attention to, okay, that lying ass bitch over here, and every time you get on the phone, your main conversation is about that lying ass bitch, okay? Hi. Hey, everybody. Kim is on the line, right? If your conversation is about how somebody lied to you and how this person, cheated on you, how this person rejected you, if that is the tone of all of your conversations, guess what? You need to go in and check your emotions. Something's off. Okay, you need to go in and check your emotions. All right, if every time you close your eyes at night, the only thing that you can see replaying in your head is what a person did to you, how they betrayed you, how they backstab you, you need to go in and check your mental capacity. You need to do that. You need to do that. If you are not creating a mental and an emotional path for you to navigate through in this season, once again, you're gonna be fucked. Take responsibility for the things that you say, for the things that you do, and the people that you allow in your life in this season. Okay, can y'all see me? Hold on, I'm gonna try to take off the Wi-Fi. I don't even know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I got a new phone, y'all, and y'all have to forgive me. I do not know how to do that. So if you're trying to reach me in some, one of these apps, I'm still trying to figure out how to work this phone. Hey, Latasha, how are you? Okay. Okay, guys. Yeah, you're going to have to take responsibility for the relationships that you allow in your life, the people that you allow in your life. Okay. Hey, Simone, how are you? Okay. Take responsibility for the relationships. Take responsibility for the people. Take responsibility for the situations that you allow in your life. And a lot of that is happening and coming into your life emotionally and mentally. All right. Understand that. A lot of the situation and experiences, let me rewind. Let me rewind. Okay. Not a lot. All of the situations that we experience in our daily lives are coming in emotionally and mentally. They're created emotionally and they're created mentally. If you are not on your path for emotional wellness and mental wellness in the season, and I keep repeating myself because y'all need to understand something, right? The way that you reprogram trauma, okay? All right? Okay? You're programmed every day what the symbols mean. All right. Oh, which takes me into something. If you're on Patreon, if you're part of the Patreon family, I know I have not. How you do this? How do you do this? Okay. All right. I had to take off the Wi-Fi, y'all. Okay. I had to take off the Wi-Fi, so I should be back now. Um, Bye, Kimberly. I think Kimberly said you had to. Yeah. Sorry about that, y'all. I had to take off the Wi-Fi because it kept dropping my signal. All right. How long? Okay. So I'm only gonna be here for a few more minutes, y'all. Okay. If y'all have any questions, I'm not in front of the cards, but I don't need the cards to answer questions. Okay. It is paid forward Friday, so if you have a question, you can ask. All right. I just wanna I want to say this because me and Kim has been talking about this behind the scenes a lot, right? Um, Emotional maturity and emotional responsibility. All right. You're going to have to take responsibility for your emotions. Okay. You're going to have to take responsibility for the things that you say emotionally and the things that you do emotionally. Okay. You cannot get to the other side if there's not some changes that you don't make internally within yourself. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go as far and say this, right? The changes that you want to see unfold in other people or in your life, you first need to make those changes within you. Okay. Yeah. All right. The changes that you want to see unfold in your life, or okay, or and within other people, you first need to make those changes within you. All right. Everything is projected from the internal out. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Prophetess Kim. Okay. We got Kim Warner from Inner Faith. All right. Definitely working with real people to do real things. Everybody has a story, y'all. Okay. And we're dealing and working with women. And I just don't even want to talk about women only. I'm even talking about relationships. There are a lot of broken relationships right now. There are a lot of broken relationships right now because a lot of people are not being honest about where they are. I had a session with a beautiful couple yesterday. Beautiful couple. And one of the topics were he felt that she gave yep, you're right, Ocean Lover. He felt he said when we talked about this and she had a 2-year plan, and in the midst of the reading I said to him, I said, she's serious. You may think that she's giving you an ultimatum, but you need to understand that this is not about you. Okay. Right now she's on her self-love path. So although she shared with you that she has a 2-year time frame, if you don't do what's necessary and if you don't do the work and if you don't do what's needed, she is going to walk away, right? And it was there in the cards, right? Now, I want to say this, however, right? Even within the midst of that relationship, however, in order for the relationship or any relationship to be sustained, right? Both parties got to do the work, right? So that was his lesson, but her lesson was she needed to learn how to communicate. Shutting down and expecting somebody to know what you're thinking or what you're feeling or what you're experiencing, that's not maturity, okay? How do I know what you're feeling? Right? I know I'm an empath, and yes, I read people, and you understand, but at the end of the day, like, I only see in part, honey, okay? Sometimes I don't see everything. And a lot of people on in the video you sent me, Kim, he had it, Bishop had it right. Sometimes, let me tell y'all something, right? And I have to say this because my concept of how I view the world is all inclusive, right? When you look into any materials that's written on a spiritual level, you start to see the connection and the allegories, right? Nobody can read minds, y'all. In order to have a healthy relationship with anybody, especially with your fucking self, okay? You're going to have to communicate. You're going to have to communicate. I wake up in the morning and I ask myself, okay, how am I feeling today? When I feel something come over me, I ask myself, why am I feeling that? Okay, where did that come from? Okay, all right, I feel that. All right, what do I need to do with that? Okay. Even in my relationship now, right? I don't expect my partner to know how I'm feeling. I have learned I need to communicate it. And I've also learned this: communication in a safe zone is necessary, because don't nobody want to walk into no emotional warfare zone with somebody just spitting out a lot of yelling and cursing. Don't nobody want that. Don't nobody want to come to the table to discuss right now stuff, but you're still stuck on stuff from 10 years ago because you haven't let it go. You have not dealt with your emotions from 10 years ago, right? Let me tell y'all something. Sometimes rejection is protection. Sometimes when people reject you, that's for your protection. Change your perception in the season. Emotional responsibility is going to be key in the season. You're going to have to take responsibility for your emotions. You're going to have to take responsibility for that. You're going to have to take responsibility for your emotional temper tantrums. Okay? You're going to have to take responsibility when you didn't speak up for yourself. You're going to have to take responsibility when you think somebody should know how you feel. You're going to have to take responsibility because you didn't tell somebody how you feel. Okay? You're going to have to take responsibility for that. You, nobody else. Nobody else. Now, it's a different story if you've communicated to someone, right? And they just don't give two shits about your feelings, right? Then even in that, you got to take responsibility within the boundaries that you create within that relationship, right? Everything in this season right now is going to be governed by your emotional responsibility and relationship with yourself. Everything. Everything. Now, here's the paradox, right? Because, a lot of people are walking around and they're saying, okay, well, I'm just trying to be a better person. See, this is where you get confused. If you're trying to be a better person, you're lost and you're stuck in the matrix. Okay? If you are trying to be a better person, you're lost and you're stuck in this matrix. And I'm going to tell you why. There's no need for you to be a better person. You are perfect within your imperfections. All you got to do is be. Y'all hear me? You do not need to be a better person. All you need to do is be. Be your real self. Be your true essence. Do you know when you truly are who you are and you're living and breathing and doing what you truly want to do? Don't you know you just want to share that with everybody else and that shit becomes contagious? Don't you know that? You don't got no time to stomp on nobody's shit. You don't got no time to put nobody down. You don't got no time for nobody's drama. No, you don't. Right? When you are being, there is no need for you to try to be better. You're just you. It just is. You're just you. Right? So, with that being said, another misconception is you're not supposed to make mistakes, right? Or you don't want to be the sinner. Okay? Even when you go back to the original meaning of sin, sin just means missing the mark. And if you miss the mark, when you go back, you try to hit it the next time, right? Okay? So even when you get into a world of perfection and you get into a world where you think that you're supposed to be perfect, do you know that it is in your imperfections that you find perfection? It is in your imperfections that you find perfection. You would have never known that you needed to grow in this area if you didn't fuck up over here. You would have never known that you was accepting bullshit if you didn't have that relationship with that idiot over there. Okay? So what you want to do, I thank you. Thank you for being an asshole. Okay? Thank you for being an asshole. That taught me I needed to gain some more self-worth and self-confidence in myself. So thank you for being that asshole. Okay? I don't know which one of these artists have a song, thank you to my exes. Okay? That's on point, right? Instead of using your words to curse people, and I'm speaking to myself here, because I'm the first one to tell a bitch, to call a bitch a bitch. Okay. Dumb bitch at that. Like, you're a dumb bitch. You know, okay. Now, so I'm calling myself out here too. I had a conversation with Kelly recently. Thank you, Ariana Grande. Next. See, yep, Ariana Grande. That's true story. Thank people for the lessons. Thank people for the experiences. That is how you change your experiences, okay? When you're able to take the lessons that you learn, okay. First of all, let me drop a little nugget right here. In the Hebrew alphabet, or even when you read in Hebrew, right? You don't read from left to right. You read from right to left, right? And I often talk about my dyslexic. Like I can be a little, they gave it the name dyslexic, where I see things backwards, or I see double letters or double numbers. I see things in reverse, or I read things backwards. Okay. Let me just let you know, first of all, that is how your human brain is really made up. So we're trained in the opposite. Okay. So with that being said, perception is going to be a key in this season. How you perceive and how you train your brain to see a thing in this season is going to be key. You can see things working out for your greater good and for your best interests, or you cannot, right? Mistakes are there for you to go back and take the shit that you've missed and apply them the next time around. Okay? Yeah, exactly, ocean lover. Exactly. Exactly. It's not backwards at all. That's just my archaic memory, remembering how we used to read. That's just my archaic memory. A lot of times we get labeled and we get put into these categories because they don't know scientifically how that part of our brain works, right? Responsibility for your emotions and your feelings, okay? You're responsible for showing up for someone more than they show up for you. Take responsibility for that. You're responsible for showing up and giving more of yourself to someone than they give to you. Take responsibility for that, right? You're responsible for overextending yourself. Take responsibility for that, right? You're responsible for not loving yourself enough. Take responsibility for that. You are responsible for that. Nobody else, okay? Nobody else. Create. Now, Kamoy, how do I get from thinking negatively to really, thinking positively, and then having those experiences, right? You speak those things that are not as if they are, right? Now, this is one thing I'm going to say. First, it starts with you taking responsibility and owning your shit, right? You can't always be the victim, right? You can't always be the victim, So if Carla, okay, okay, because I like Carla, okay. I don't know if Carla's watching, right? So let me just say, if Miss Shazazz or Miss Pizzazz, if Miss Pizzazz only call you when Miss Pizzazz needs a ride, you understand what I'm saying? Hey girl, I'm just calling to check in on you. Yeah, how you doing today? How the kids? Yeah, so yeah, you think you're going down Jackson Avenue today? Because if you're going down passing down that way, because I know usually on Mondays you go down Jackson Avenue, you could just swing by, give me a ride, because I need to stop over there and drop some paperwork. Is Miss Pizzazz really calling to see how you're doing? Or does Miss Pizzazz really just want a ride? Right? So do you take responsibility for feeling used every time you say yes to Miss Pizzazz? When you have the responsibility to say no. You in a situation like that, if you constantly feel used, or you constantly feel like you're given more to a relationship than someone is given to you, you are emotionally and mentally responsible for taking ownership of that and for making that change. You, right? Oh, you got the hater girlfriend that's always hating on you. How about you take responsibility for always sharing your business with that hater girlfriend? How about you take responsibility for that? Oh, this bitch is always hating on me. Oh, she always got something to say. Okay. Yeah. How about you stop sharing your business with the chick that always got something to say and it ain't positive? How about that? You ever think about that? Birds of a feather flock together. Like all of these cliches that they say, it is for a reason. Whatever you give attention to or whomever you give attention to, that is what expands and grows in your experience. That's what expands and grows. Okay. Um, you know, I had to take responsibility, especially within a marriage relationship, right? When you in a relationship and you have something falling apart, right? Not just because of what that person did, but also because of shit you did, right? Shit you did. You have an opportunity to, as a woman, label, oh, everything unfolded and fell apart because he did XYD, he did XYZ, he did XYZ, right? However, I had to be honest with myself and recognize, don't no man want to come home and be yelled at and be spoken to like a child. Don't no man want that. Remember when you used to do that? Okay, so now you're gonna have to watch how you speak to him, right? Don't no man want that, right? Don't no man want to come in all the time and be remembered of all the failures. Don't no man want that, right? Anybody that wants, even when a person is down, right, that don't mean that you got to kick a person when it's down. I had to go back and take responsibility for the things that I did to have the relationship to be dissolved, right? And I had to do that so I did not repeat that in another relationship, right? That's how that worked. I had to literally do that so I was not going to repeat that in another relationship. That was the purpose of me owning my shit. Not so he got a pass from, he gets a pass from doing the things that he did. No. This was so I can live in a healthy and harmonious relationship. So I didn't have to repeat the negative things, or I didn't have to repeat the things, the insecure things, or project my insecurities, right, to another person because I didn't want to deal with them. That's taking responsibility. That's taking responsibility. And this is not just playing out in your loving relationships. This is playing out in relationship with your family member. This is playing out in relationship with your coworkers. This is playing out in relationship with your parents. This is playing out in relationship with your children, relationship with your best friend, relationship with your spouse. Emotional responsibility and mental well-being. You're going to have to tell people how you feel. You're going to have to tell people what you want, right? Now, within this, once you tell people how you feel and you tell people how, what you want, be prepared. Not everybody is going to want to meet you there. So you need to understand that too. Not everybody is going to be emotionally and mentally mature, okay, or equipped to meet you where you are. So that's something else you're going to have to recognize and understand. Not everybody's going to be able to meet you there. And that's okay. That's okay. That's okay, right? Because what you learn is as you are creating your boundaries and establishing where you want your life to go, there are a lot of people that you're not even going to have to tell bye. They're just going to literally stop calling, right? Things are just going to eventually just figure itself out, okay? Now, I can't stress enough just by, you know, the appointments this week and what we've been talking about behind the scenes and just taking a look at what's happening collectively, how important it is for us in this season to be emotionally and mentally well. Okay. Like I said, I had an experience, somebody that I love dearly, is experiencing a mental break right now. Right. Is it they're experiencing a mental break? And like when I speak to them, I can see, I know what the secret is. I know, and they just have not forgiven themselves. They have just not been able to emotionally and mentally see and feel something different because they're not honest with themselves, right? They feel judged. They feel unloved. They don't feel accepted. But that first starts with you stop judging yourself, loving yourself, and accepting yourself. Like I said, there's no room to try to be a better person. There's no need for that. There's no need for you to try to be a better person. The only thing you need to do is be. Know thyself and be. When you truly are living from your essence, right? You don't need to be better. You don't need to be different. You just need to be you, right? You are a uniquely designed individual. You are a uniquely designed energetic being, right? So it's Pay Forward Friday. You're creating within the darkness, but you can't create within darkness if you are not able to man your emotions and how you see something, how you perceive something, right? So there's a lot going on. I know there's a lot of classes coming up right now, y'all. Kim Warner and Interfaith Wealth Builders, okay? Regardless of what your spiritual path is on, and I want to say shout out to Kim because I'm gonna tell y'all right now, okay? Anybody that knows me know that when it comes to me in church, like you know, I can get down with the Bible and I can break that down metaphysically, and I can quote scripture and break that down metaphysically, and then the occult science aspect of it. But when it comes to the structure and the paradigm of church, that is just not my thing, right? But this lady from day one has not ever allowed me to be myself with my cursing, with my craziness, with even when she told me I was going to be teaching. And no, what did she say? I remember she told me I was going to have a ministry. And I looked at her like she was crazy because I'm like, I'm not finna be no pastor. No, that's not. And then I remember she said to me, that just simply means administrating. You're gonna, like you're gonna be using your gift. So I say all of that to say she is now has created a platform, right, of awesome women that is using their life story and what they've had to go through in life to help empower other women, right? To use their struggles, right? To be able to trust themselves, to be able to be you, right? Not the best version of you, but to be able to be you, okay? So I don't know if Jasmine or any of the moderators have any of that information that we can give out. So we have classes coming, okay? I don't if we can give the link to the website, or if somebody can even I don't know if you guys can post pictures in here. I don't even know if we can post pictures in here. I wanted to post a flyer, but I'll put the flyer up on the community board, okay? So there is really a movement right now, y'all, okay? There's a movement right now of real people, real women just coming together and sharing their expertise, okay? Okay. Sharing their expertise. Okay, do you have the IG information only and the Facebook information? If we can put that in here, perfect. Thank you. Okay. Sharing the expertise. So we're talking about emotional and mental wellness. Okay, this is holistic living right here. Okay, this is not just about your spirituality, but this is about your mind, your soul, your body. Okay, this is about you taking responsibility for where you want to be in life. This is about you not making excuses anymore, right? One step at a time, one day at a time. You don't have to have it all figured out, and it doesn't have to be all perfect. Remember, it's within your imperfections that you find perfection, right? It's okay to try and have it not work out. It's okay to do something different and figure out that's not for you, right? But the one thing that you need to do, right? Personally, the one thing that you need to do personally is to be true with you, be honest with you, right? And you're not going to be able to do that if you're not honest with yourself emotionally and mentally, all right? What are your mental blocks? What are your emotional blocks? A lot of people don't even know what their mental and emotional blocks are. Why do you keep attracting the same type of people in relationships? Why do you keep giving more of yourself than you want to? Why do you keep accepting bullshit? Why do you keep feeling like you get stepped on? Why do you keep feeling like you need to step on someone to feel loved or empowered, right? Where's your codependency coming from, right? Right? Where's your addiction coming from? Right? Like, these are questions. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate you. Okay. See, look at that. Do y'all read what Julissa just said? Julissa said first for 45 seconds she was sad. Then she remembered she was getting exactly what she asked for and smiled. Okay? I'm telling y'all, create something new. This is a magical time right now. We at 0 point reset. Look around. Ain't nothing the same. Turn on the TV. Yep, Kalia, you got it. Know thyself. turn on the TV, okay? Turn on the TV. Y'all need to check out Interfaith Web Builders, okay? The point that I was trying to make about Kim Warner is this, okay? Although I was not a religious person, and she told me what my path was going to be like 10 years ago, y'all. She told me I was going to be doing this 10 years ago, okay? She never put me in a box that said you needed to do this on the religious factor. It has to be done in a church. She never put me in a box to tell me that it had to be done in a church, because I was against church, you know. Nope, nope, and nope, okay? And she allowed me the freedom, right, to be who I was. She allowed me the freedom. I remember when I told her I wanted to study magic, you know, when I told her I want to, as a matter of fact, I remember her telling me at one point it was time for me to start studying magic and operating in that field. I remember that, okay? Never did she put a limitation on how I had to administer my gift, okay? Yep, see? She's not, never. This was literally the first experience I've had with anybody, I want to say, from the aspect of the church that I could relate to as far as astrology is concerned, and then share with her where I saw astrology in the Bible, and then have her validate to me where astrology was in the Bible, and then have her link all of these other Greek deities back to Jesus. Right? So this is what I'm talking about. Knowing thyself is knowing that you don't have to be in a physical building to get with God, okay? Which dwells with next Friday, okay? And the daily vibrations will be back on Monday, all right? If you I'm buffering, are you for real? Okay. Can you guys see me? Okay. I don't know what's going on. Okay, okay. Okay. Was I gone for a long time? Was I gone for a long time? Okay, I don't even know how much you guys heard or what you didn't hear. Hopefully you can catch it on playback, right? You lost the sound. Okay, okay. All right. Okay. So the full moon meditation in Gemini is coming up on the 28th. Okay. Oh, for about 2 minutes. Oh, okay. The next meditation is going to be next Saturday on the 28th. If you are interested in that meditation, you can definitely make your donation and you'll receive the private link, okay? So the meditations are back. The next class that I'm going to be doing is also starting next Saturday. This is trusting your intuition and communicating with the spiritual realm and your guides, okay? That is an interactive class, all right? So we literally go into the spiritual realm and yeah, okay? It's a very interactive class. That starts next week also, all right? And I don't know if anybody have any questions. I know we got some donations. So Jay, let me see who made a donation. Does it? I don't know how to do this, y'all. I'm on my phone, so I can't really see. Does anybody have a question before I sign off? I know Interfaith, Kim made a donation, Interfaith Wealth Builders. I believe Jay Simone made a donation, and somebody else made a donation. Jaleesa made a donation. Does anybody have any questions before I sign off? Let me know. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Simone said I didn't do earth signs. So let me go back because I didn't break down. Okay. So I'll do that before I jump off. Okay. So earth signs. All right. When we get into the spiritual attacks, when it comes to the earth energy, right, we're talking about third dimensional things, right? So earth energy is going to be Capricorns. It's going to be, thank you, Jay. Okay. It's going to be Capricorns, Taurus, and Virgo. Okay. So this is where you have to be mindful. All right. When you're on the spiritual attack, especially if you have a lot of earth element in your chart, you can see things in the physical realm starting to fall apart. Okay, so shit physically in the fit that you can see, that you can touch, they just start to fall apart. All right. Plans that you made to be plans that you made, things that you had planned to do start to fall apart. All right, so Capricorns, what you're going to have to be mindful of when you're dealing with this type of energy is, one, not to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay, you want to make sure that you are not too judgmental. All right, remember, you're supposed to be able to perceive things from all aspects and all levels. So what you don't want to do is throw the baby out with the bathwater. All right, Capricorn's energy is all about I utilize, I use, right? So this is the season for you to be able to pay attention to how you can utilize everything. Okay, now delay doesn't necessarily mean denial, and sometimes when you have a tower moment, that does not mean that shit is just fucked up. That just necessarily means that you get to start anew. Okay, tower moments sometimes happen like directly in your face because you may need to make a change that you asked the universe for, but you wasn't willing to do the necessary things that's necessary to have that change to come about. Okay, so don't necessarily see tower moments as bad things. All right, so Capricorns, watch your judgments. Okay, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. See how you can utilize everything, especially in the physical realm. When we're dealing with Virgos, analyze situations from all angles. Okay, you want to analyze everything before you make a decision. Especially, it's kind of like Virgos I hear in my mind, like, y'all gonna have to study chess. Like, yeah, be like the chess master. Okay, before you make your move, you want to analyze the whole board. Okay, my stomach is growling. Hopefully, y'all can't hear that on camera. And when it comes to Taurus, it's going to be very important that Taurus doesn't think that they have everybody figured out. Okay. And it's going to be also very important for Taurus not to do tit for tat. You don't want to operate in the fuck fight energy right now, Taurus. That's going to be important. Okay. You don't want to operate in that energy. You guys operate from a perspective of what you have, right? And sometimes what you have in your hand, you may have to put down or maybe throw out so you can get something of greater value. That's going to be important. Okay. So, Earth signs, the way your attack can come in, like I said, it can attack you on the physical realm, okay? If you're very ego-based, okay, this attack can cripple your ego. This is why you don't want to get too attached to physical things, okay? Be mindful of that, all right? Now, I didn't do fire energy. Fire energy is going to be Sagittarius, is going to be Leo, and it's also going to be Aries energy. Okay, now when it comes to dealing with the fire energy, this energy is very intuitive. It's also about action, movement, being able to move, take the steps, right? This is also action of passionate energy, but also could be very lustful energy. Okay, so how you can come on the attack, spiritually within this energy, my lovelies. Okay, it can come in with either you feeling like you can't take the action or the movement that you want to move. Okay, like especially within this lockdown, feeling confined, like you can't move. All right, now it can also feel like the things that you once felt passionate about, there's no passion. Okay, for some of you, you can find that some people are totally on the opposite spectrum of that, where everything is just a lustful nature. Instead of dealing with stuff, like it's just a lot of outward projection. And I want to say this, even for some people in particular, you're going to see that the porn is going to skyrocket. Okay, yeah, within this season, especially people dealing with spiritual warfare, you will see porn skyrocket in this season. Okay, that's just a side note. All right, so you want to be mindful of that. Intuitively, however, this energy, some people okay, see, yeah, Galaxy Goddess said she's been feeling confined by learning her own way. Yeah. And this is why you're navigating, Jasmine. This is exactly why you're navigating, okay? Some people may also feel like they want to do things and they're passionate about things, like I said, but feel blocked. They can't fully move. Some people may feel intuitively that they can't trust their intuition, okay? So these are just some of the things you can come up against when you're on the spiritual attack within the fire element, okay? Now, when it comes down to the Leo energy, Leos, the way through this is to get out of your ego. Okay, you need to get out of your ego or get out of your own way when you're navigating through this through the energy. And I really want to say, pay attention to your feelings and maybe how you may project your feelings on other people. Okay, that's going to be important for Leos. Okay, when it comes to do with Aries, you want to watch how aggressive you portray. Okay. the word really also is you want to watch your aggression and your stubbornness. Okay. It's not that you can't get the outcome that you want. You just want to watch how aggressive your approach is. Okay. And your stubbornness. Okay. Because sometimes when you're on the attack, you can be very aggressive. Okay. Very aggressive. Okay. Very aggressive when you really need to be paying attention of how you need to move. I feel like this is going to be a chess game for a lot of people of managing your emotions and your mental capacity in this season. All right. So Aries, watch your stubbornness and watch your aggression. Okay. Which means think before you react, feel before you react, check in with yourself before you react. Okay. Now, Sagittarius, this is going to be key for Sagittarius. Trust your discernment. We're about to come into Sagittarius season. The sun is going to be shining in Sagittarius, which means you're going to have that energy supporting you, okay? You're going to have to trust that energy. Trust your perception, okay? So if something looks like a pig and it oinks like a pig, it's the fucking pig, okay? It's a pig. Y'all perceptions be on point, honey. Okay? Trust your perception in the season. All right? Now, the balance is going to be, however, Sagittarius is okay. Emotions and your mental. Because if you're going to trust your perception, then you got to be emotionally balanced, right? And you got to be mentally balanced. Because if you're trusting your perception is saying this ain't going to work out for your good, then guess what? Things are going to be perceived in the way you see it. Then ain't nothing going to work out for your good, right? Once again, know thyself is going to be important within this energy. Trusting your perception is going to be key, all right? Fire energy, you may feel like intuitively you can't connect if you're under attack. You may even feel like shit is delayed. You can't move and take the action that you want to, okay? And some of you may feel lower vibrational energy of that. You may even have a lot of people step outside of their relationship, right? Within this energy, that lower vibrational lust energy, you can have a lot of people step outside of this, within this lustful energy, and create havoc within their relationship because they're not dealing with their emotions. Okay, so that's important as you're navigating through this energy. All right. Okay, so I got all signs. And you all have some information on how you can pay attention. Okay, you have information on how you're responsible, okay, for not just the energy that you put out, but also the energy that you intake. Okay, and you're responsible for taking responsibility for your own emotions. You can't leave that up to anybody. Okay, you're responsible for your own shit. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna see y'all on Monday. I don't think, let me scroll up, make sure I didn't miss any questions. Okay. Okay, Simone, I got the earth signs. Okay. Okay. Okay, Jaleesa says she tried to get me to argue with her. Yeah. Jaleesa, yeah. Jaleesa, walk away. Walk away. Okay, yeah. Don't feed into any negative energy. Protect your energy this weekend. Okay. All right. I love y'all. I'm gonna see y'all next Friday. Okay. I have to be honest with y'all. I'm going through a lot of transition right now. So as soon as I'm settled, you guys will probably be seeing me more live. But y'all are guaranteed to see me on Fridays, and y'all are guaranteed your daily vibrations, okay? The daily vibrations also may look a little bit more differently also, okay? A lot more inspirational. You may not always get cards, okay? I'm going to just tell y'all right now. You might not always get the tarot cards, okay? All right. See y'all on Monday. Do something kind for yourself. Love yourself. And I'm going to see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.